Let me see it, Travis. Give me some.
You dancing more now than you do when you in studio.
I'm a little geek, man. I'm a little geek on a different level.
Now I'm ready to go. It's your part, Tana.
Ready to go. That what you say?
SANTANA'S Show podcast, episode 9. We almost to 10, brother. We almost there.
That quick, huh?
Travis Thomas here in studio in Podcast Village, and my man SANTANA'S down in the Miami. Hey, what's the weather? What's the weather right now?
Hot, brother. Hot. A different kind of hot too. And you know, one of the things we always talk about when it comes to the temperature and the weather and the heat, the difference. And I just realized, man, coming back, I haven't been used to this heat, man. I mean, I was sweating just riding in the car with AC blowing, kicking. And I'm like, bro, like the humidity is on a different high right now. So yeah, it's hot, but I can't complain. It's been something that I've been used to, just been away for a while. And I guess now I have to get used to coming home every now and then and being expected and unexpected with this temperature and with the heat.
So the humidity is sticky, icky down there, huh?
Sticky, man, hot. I'm talking about, I'm in workout clothes and I feel like I worked. I ain't done a thing yet this morning. I've been waiting definitely just to come take care of this and then work out. And I'm talking about I'm hot.
Hey man, let us know where you at right now, because I see a lot of memorabilia behind you, a lot of nostalgia.
What is crazy, you know, I came home this weekend. My oldest daughter had a 8th grade graduation last night rather. And I knew I was gonna be home for another day because I had to take care of something with my second daughter. And I said, you know what? I shoot from down here. This will be the first time I shoot away. I Skype in just like we get some of our callers to Skype in. And so I'm at my mom's house. I'm at my mom and my dad's house. And when I walked into their little trophy room, I just sat and I was just sitting in awe because a lot of the pictures and the trophies and the different things bring back so many memories, stuff that I don't keep. I have a thing with things that I receive. I normally give them away, you know what I mean? And I give them to them because I know they can always cherish and be able to look at some of the things that they created. They created all this, you know, everything that I'm sitting here in front of, they created, you know. And a couple of things that stood out to me, you know, it's a lot. I can't get everything off the wall, but this is like me and my brother's first, you know, the Moss Brothers' first celebrity weekend that we hosted together. And when he arrived into the NFL, you know, I was doing it like about 4 years prior, and he arrived and we joined together. This picture here it stood out to me the most because, you know, we talk about in the DMV.
Yeah.
I told you, everywhere I go, they talk about the Cowboys game, the Monday Night Miracle. Well, this picture is game 2. And the reason why this stood out the most to me because I was robbed for a touchdown. Here I am going deep again. And I don't want to call my man name out because I think highly of Aaron Glenn, but he just happened to be on that play again. I catch that ball on the 1 yard line and roll over in the end zone, and they tell me I'm down to 1.
I remember that game.
And instead of Gibbs just looking at the camera, he rushed out there and Harriman ran a play. So that stands out and it means a lot to me. So when I saw the picture, I'm like, man, that's a memory that I don't even have, but they have it here.
Wow, bro. Hey, I've been with you in the streets when people call you Cowboy Killer.
Cowboy Killer.
Cowboy Killer. All right, so look, I want to recap the weekend that was, man. It was your birthday weekend. You know, I hollered at you on your actual birthday, but happy belated again. And,
thank you,
man, just break down the whole weekend because you had a lot going on, Playboy.
Man, the weekend went as expected. You know, from the 12 to 16 guys that I had in town from Miami, L.A., you name it, wherever they was residing at, they came over, man, and turned up with me the whole entire weekend. It went as planned. I told a friend of mine that's near and dear. I told him, he said, man, so you know what's the plans this year? And normally I'm always giving. So what I did, I said, you know what, the birthday is actually on the first, start on a Friday. So what I'm gonna do something charity wise the day before. So I started the charity part off with having a cycling class, 2 cycling classes where we raise money for the foundation at Ascend out in Fairfax, a cycling company. And I actually rode in both classes. turned out great. We raised probably, it was a small class, but raised up to $1,000. That's great. When you're trying to raise money and you're just trying to give back to the community whatever way you can. And then Friday, all the festivities started. All the fellas came in, and we went from just, actually them boys arrived. We had dinner. We had dinner at Maryland Live. I got to give a special shout out. I have a list here. My bad. I have a
Uh-oh.
list here, special shout out list because Maryland Live took great care of me.
Hello.
Bob Smith, the vice president there, he took care of me.
Shout out to
Just
Bob.
saluting and every year he's been on board, with the rooms and everything. And then get a special shout out to my girl Liz at F and Kavasi. She's a senior rep there. She took care of the dinner and she took care of
Ooh.
me when it comes to the drinks.
Some of that
We didn't have
Cavassier.
to didn't have to look far when it came to getting a little
Little whoop
juiced
whoop.
up
Yeah, little whoop whoop.
exactly. So with them and then all the people behind the scenes, my man Stu, Carmen, my manager, all those folks, and then everybody who came out and just turned up, man, I have to tip my hat off to them. And every club that that basically, we hosted that night, I mean that weekend, Opera,
Yeah.
St. Eve's, and to bring it home on Sunday, Griffin. Everybody showed love. The DMV never, disappoint me. So I really was appreciative of everything that went on, and I just had a good time, man. I
Yeah.
really say that Monday was a day to recoup, and I'm glad today I'm back at work.
You're back to feeling like yourself today, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this feels like a good time to remind all the businesses out there on Tana's shout out list that we are looking for sponsors here at the Santana Moss Show podcast. And we would love your patronage as we are the hottest podcast on the planet. Hey, Tana, Mary went to your cycling class, man. My
Yes.
homegirl, Mary. How was she doing in there, man? She hanging in
great.
there?
She did. Mary did a great job. Mary, it was crazy when I saw her. Like I told you, I always see her, and her and your wife look so much alike. So I saw her and I was looking. I had to look twice to make sure it was her and it wasn't. So and then she like, yeah, Trav, and they got the babies. I said, I understand. I didn't even ask him to come because I understand his task is, man, you're doing caps, you're doing this, that, and the
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
I can only imagine. But just to see her come, I was thrilled to see her be able to partake in that, and she had a great time, and she's looking forward to doing it again because I'm gonna do a couple of more classes there. Privately, I'm gonna do them, and then I'm gonna also, do some more fundraisers there because I think they have a great studio there, and the energy is, oh man, ecstatic. And I mean, I rode in both classes, the 5:30 and the 6:30 class, and trust me, it was like one of those things. It was breathtaking. I made it. I I I think I was 5 pounds lighter the whole entire weekend because of the classes. But just to see the guys and the fans show up and us have a good time just cycling and just working on just being fit, it was a great outing.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Santana is just a exercise bike fiend. Whether it's in
Now,
real life,
now,
riding a
yes,
bike, or a stationary,
they
he's a
took
fiend for it.
they took football away from me, so I found a new love. I'm gonna just ride the bike from now on.
Well, I did one of those classes with Tana, and I will tell y'all, never again, unless I get a special seat, because my situation was not in a good place.
Oh, no doubt.
Tana mentioned the Caps. Just your thoughts of this incredible run. Next time we talk, we're going to have a cup to drink Tito's out of, I believe.
No doubt, and that's one of the reasons why I'm gonna be real short with it. I'm superstitious as all outdoors, and just I feel like through the span of the last few games, we hadn't had a chance to really talk about it.
Right.
And through that span, it's been what been three victories because
Yeah.
they actually was down 1-0, and now it's what 3-1.
Right.
So keep on keeping on, Caps. I'm gonna sit here patiently waiting. I have a vision of what I want to do with that cup, and if granted, I'm going to take part in that. I have my straw ready, I have my special sauce ready, and if they can go out there and bring that thing home. But more than anything, man, I'm just happy and thrilled to see that the city is
Oh,
in an uproar right now, man. They deserve it. The DMV deserve a champion. I think it's been too many years in waiting. I would have wished it had been the Skins, and hopefully, with what we're seeing right now, this thing could lead into a championship for the DMV. So I'm gonna sit back and leave it there. I don't want to talk too much about it.
Tana, I've been at all the games, and it is incredible to me to see the city come together, every race, sexuality, all that stuff, together, partying, Tana, it's basically a mosh pit out there with fans, and there are no fights. There's no
Yeah.
groping. There's no, you know what I mean? It's like all love. Everybody's just partying. And I'll tell you, working in the media, I hate hearing things. I've always been a hater when I hear like team of destiny and
Yeah.
man, what does that crap mean? To me, it's always you have the better players, better coaching, and you got it done.
Yeah.
Now that I've been a part of this, I cannot hate on that anymore. Like I understand that sports cliche now of team of destiny. Sometimes everything just aligns and it is just meant for you to win that year. It's just that simple.
Well, Travis, me and you talked about this earlier this year before everything got in the situation that they're in now. It was asked upon me. I'm not sure what show it was, but it was Santana. If you had to pick a team in this area, hockey, baseball,
Yep.
basketball, football,
Yep.
who's the team that's going to bring home the first championship? And when I spoke and said the Caps, I think, and everyone looked at me like, you didn't say the Skins. You asked me my honest opinion. And the reason why I gave that honest opinion, regardless of what happens this year, let's put this year out the door. But these guys have consistently been in this moment beyond, the first round to the second. They've consistently, so they repeated their self, lost, repeated themselves, lost, repeated themselves. Eventually, you tell that guy with that Hawaiian punch, I don't want no more Hawaiian punch.
Right.
You know, that guy coming to you, hey, you want a Hawaiian punch? And the answer was sure, and he gave it to you. Eventually, you say, I don't want that. And then you understand, I'm gonna give you what you asking for. And I feel like they were suited for one of these outings that they've been having these last few weeks and being in this the height of this game in the championship game. So like I say, I'm not gonna talk ahead too far ahead, but I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. I'm just hoping that it can lead to what we all are destined for, a championship for the DMV area.
Yeah, no question. We talk about team of destiny and championships and all that. It's a complete opposite for your boy LeBron James right now. I got to tell you something. I am pissed off with this finals, Tana. First of all, I just want to say this. The refs have ruined the NBA finals. This guy, LeBron James, goes down the lane and gets punched in the face, for God's sakes, and can't get a call. If you even sneeze or blow a kiss at Steph Curry, he's going to the line. I'm sick of, let me say this too, Tana. I'm sick of Steph Curry shimmying on people and picking fights with guys 3 times his size. I'm sick of seeing his family in the stands. I'm sick of the Warriors, Tana. I hate the NBA. I hate the NBA finals, man. I hate it.
Hey, you said everything. You said a mouthful. One of the things I can't do is argue because everyone knows how I am about LeBron. And this is no man crush. No, just being real. I feel that when it comes to this guy, when he came in this league from day one, the odds was against him.
Right.
Meaning because you've been at a pedestal of greatness at a young age.
Yes.
Whether you took your team to championship after championship after championship in a high school level to where they felt that you can dominate the NBA,
Right.
not even seeing college.
From day one.
And he did just that.
Yeah.
He didn't come in and have a Kobe year. And no offense to Kobe, because Kobe is a great.
Right.
He didn't have a Michael Jordan first year. No offense to Michael Jordan. He is the GOAT.
Right.
He came in and dominated. Regardless if it was winning a championship or not, he dominated like no other. 15 years later, he still dominates.
Wow.
So the reason why I'm so high on this guy, because I've seen it, and I've seen so many guys come into the league that I've played in that can't stand up to that. They can't stand up to that pressure. That
Right.
pressure, man, pressure busts pipes. When people say pressure busts pipes, it's no lie. Pressure busts pipes. I've been a victim of that. I've been a victim under pressure that at some time, regardless of how good you prepared, how good you are, it's gonna bust you if you're not strong enough.
Yeah.
And I've been a victim because I allow it to get to the point to where it almost busts me, and I say, nah, I wasn't made that way.
Yep.
But I let it get me to the point to even thinking it and allowing to be in my thought process. This guy seems like he's unharmed when it comes to that pressure. But when it gets to what we seeing this particular series, it's not fair at times. It's not fair for 2 reasons. Because you're playing against, to me, the Avengers. The Warriors are the Avengers.
Yeah, they are.
You have them, you name it, they got them. You know, those guys, the best sharpshooters there is on the planet. And all you have with the Cavs is LeBron James. And I think, to me, LeBron James is the Hulk. He's basically an Avenger that should have been with those guys, but he's
Right.
over here,
Yeah.
and the Hulk can't take down Iron Man.
Yeah.
Thor,
Right.
you name it. He can't take them down by himself, and that's what he's showing. He's dominating by himself, but he can't go out there and do the things that's asked of him because the other guy's not with him. He doesn't have a super group, and people get on people. They get on LeBron, especially about the super groups and about him going to Miami and doing what he's doing. Oh well, sometimes that has a championship. When you're playing a team sport, it's a team, and right now it's nothing evident than seeing LeBron James's Cavs team right now not helping him get to his destiny of winning another championship. So you can talk it how you want to talk it, but all the guys that went out there and found a team that was destined, hey, you can't give them no slack on that because LeBron went back home and got a championship and now has been to the championship every year since then and can't seem to bring it home because the guys around him collectively can't go out there and do their jobs well enough.
Well, hold up. Stop the press. It sounds to me like you think LeBron on the first thing, smoking out of Cleveland as soon as this series is over. Do you think he moves on? Because you hear Philly, you hear Houston, you hear L.A. Do you think he stays in Cleveland, or you think he's out of there after this?
The only thing I hope happens, because I don't want to hear all the bull crap that comes with him leaving, I will hope he stay, but I will hope that the league is seeing this. Every guy that's out there searching for a team to be on, go play with a winner. Go play with LeBron James. If you got any bit of ball in you, go play with a LeBron James. Find your way to Cleveland. Find your way to be on that, to wear that Cavs jersey and go and get you a championship. Because the one thing he has shown you, we can get there with just me alone. We can get to the dance. Now, how we leave that dance is up to you.
Right.
But we can get to the dance. So if I'm a guy in the league and I'm searching for a team to be on next year, and I'm gonna go find me a LeBron, I'm gonna be on LeBron James team because I know I'm gonna bring what he's needing and what he's missing. And that's what I feel like he's missing a couple of guys that hungry enough and that has enough game in them that can take him to the promised land a little more than that he's seen. And I feel like getting there is half the battle. Now taking that thing and kissing that trophy at the end is the rest. And he need a couple of more guys. And right now I don't think, and as optimistic as I am about his chances still in this series, I just don't think it could get done.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Feels good, and it sounds like a feel-good story. I think the reality is he's got to get the hell out of there. And you know what, Tana? I honestly, I think he's going to go to Philly. And I think Ben Simmons, him and Embiid could be a problem. That could be a problem.
The only reason why I don't see that happening because it's hard to go out there and say, I'm going to do this again.
Right.
I'm going to let this city down and have this league look at me again in this light.
But he bought him a title, though.
He's the only guy that's going to get the slack. He's the only guy that's going to get the kind of flock and all the BS that he get because he's LeBron James. Just like he gets the calls he get. He doesn't get calls.
He does
because he's LeBron James.
Right.
You know, he has that Shaq factor. Basically, you got to hack him to basically give him a foul.
Right.
The guy was for a ball and Steph Curry, a little 115-pound body, just so happened to get trampled in the way, and it was foul on LeBron James.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's things like that
they reversed the call. I've never seen them reverse a call in basketball in my life.
They reversed a call that only gets reversed if it's some kind of chance that what they saw wasn't what they saw.
Right.
This guy was clearly out the picture of what they was looking for, and they reversed it. So they looked at it and reversed it. So it's things that's going on in this league and in this game that I can't even speak on because I'm not a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm only a fan, and I try to pay close attention, and I try to be up on the rules and the regulations as much as I can. But to be honest with you, I don't know them because half the time I don't know the rules in my own sport. So I just feel like just watching this guy, man, go out here and dominate. It's sad that he doesn't have the supporting cast to be on the same level, and it's just going to be a tough fight. But if anybody can get it done, he can get it done. I just feel like it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fan, too, and I'll speak on it. The NBA Finals suck. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the Cavs in the Stanley Cup, I'd jump off a bridge right now after this podcast, Tanner. I want to switch gears to soccer. I'm a huge football fan. The World Cup's coming up. the U.S. is not in it. I'm not as pumped up as I normally am this time of year. Do you watch that? Do you care when the World Cup comes around and the fact that the U.S. blew it and they didn't make it? Does that take away from it?
Not really, because I don't. I'm more into the guys that's the face of the league. I'm not a big fan of the sport. Um, no offense to anybody that is. Um, my son Santana Jr. He pays attention to it. Sometimes I walk in the room, you hear this. Oh, I'm like, what is it about the game that you like? And he's like, man, it's so exciting, especially when you understand the game. He plays FIFA, so he knows
Yeah.
he knows the game a little more than me. Messi and those guys,
Yep.
I think Ronaldo.
Yep.
I remember back in the day, Ronaldinho from
Yeah,
Brazil.
Brazil. He was
That was a
hard.
guy I paid attention to. But
He
the,
married
the
two women. True story. He just married two ladies.
wow, hey, kudos to him.
Hey,
you know,
Brazil. Viva
good
Brazil.
good luck.
I
All
can't
that
deal with one, Tana. I don't even want to.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Good luck, dealing with all that. But nah, honestly, I just feel like I just feel like with the sport is very popular and they have a lot of stars that you can't help but pay attention to. So yes, when those guys are playing, when the stars are playing, I'm paying close attention. But to just sit there and watch a soccer game, I'll be lying to you to tell you that I do so.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to drink a lot. So, time now for Santana's State of the Skins. All right, Tana, you were a rookie once. This time of year, I often think about the rookies. We're not the training camp yet, but they've had rookie camps, they've had OTAs. What's going through a rookie's mind? And kind of give me like a day in the life of, if you will, of the new guys on the team, the rooks.
It depends on who you are as a rook. If I sit here and give you my perspective of what went through my mind this early in the season, I was in heaven. I was on cloud nine. I was a first round pick, 16 overall. I was their first round pick. So at the end of the day, I was numero uno. I was the guy. The one thing I had in mind was to go out there and perform, go out there and show these guys early what they got. So regardless if you're a first round pick to the last round pick, or Mr. Irrelevant, regardless, your first goal is I have to make an impact immediately. I want to go out here through these times when we in shorts.
Right.
Remember what I said, key word, shorts. When we in shorts, show them what they need to see. I can run whatever route. If I'm a receiver, I can, cut, plant, whatever they want to see from me as a running back. Or if I'm a defensive guy, I'm on my job. I know the keys. I know all the calls and the coverages. Offensive guy, as a quarterback, I'm impressing them with my arm, with my accuracy. You got to do all the right things because you're in shorts.
Right.
You can't look bad in shorts. You look bad in shorts, you give yourself no chance when we put on the pads. So I think around this time of the year, all those guys are kind of, you know, free. They free to go out there and roam and just be, good 7-on-7 players because that's all you got right now. I mean, yes, we're gonna have team periods when we all get up there, but it's still a 7-on-7 drill if you really think about it, because we ain't banging. And yeah, a lot of guys make the team around this time of year, but when you really make that team is when you put those pads on. And now it's training camp, and you got a preseason game down the line that you got to get ready for. That's when the whole hair starts sticking up on your arm type thing happen. But right now, it's free. Everybody out there having a good time, whether you a draft pick or a free agent. Those guys, their main goal is to go out there and look good, know their plays, know their assignments, look good, and make sure every time that your number called on, that you're going out there doing something that the coaches can talk, and be able to say something positive about.
Difference between looking good in shorts. I'd be in trouble, Tana, because I look terrible in shorts every day. I mean, terrible.
Well, I'm not saying you want to go out there and say, "Boy, his legs look good." I'm saying you want to look apart when that rock come your way or whatever your position is. That's what I'm saying. You a fool, man.
Hey, Tana, you told me, throughout your career, you've always had a knack to pick the guys that were trying to make the team. You always knew the ones that would. You could just see it. How was that? Like, how could you always tell? What did you look for? Was it the dog? Like, was it the attitude? What was it why were you undefeated with that skill? Because, I mean, honestly, you could make a hell of a scout, to be honest with you.
To be honest with you, that's some of the things that I said I wanted to partake in. When I left this game, scouting, or if it was, open to me, and I didn't want to go out to nothing that wasn't really kind of open their doors to me. But I don't really know. I think I just know um no talent.
Yeah.
Honestly. I remember, and most of the guys I picked was guys that weren't even draft picks. These guys was guys that the organization didn't know that had a chance. And I just spoke to you about a guy in shorts and a guy in pads. In shorts, you can look apart and you could be like, boy, he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that. I've seen a lot of those guys. I've seen a lot of guys that in shorts, it was breathtaking watching. Like, whew, well, you saw that. So when you see guys do what they do in shorts, it only allows you to say, I can't wait to see him when this thing is live.
Right.
I'm sitting there watching everybody in shorts, like, because I can go out there and be woo like
Yeah.
that too. Because there's really no pressure. That pressure is when you know that guy gonna hit you in your mouth, and that's when I start noticing the guys that I feel like that can make it. When those guys get in pads, and the guy that you saw in shorts is 10 times that guy in pads, that's when you know you got a player. And
Mm.
I saw that so many times from guys that didn't even have a chance of making a team when it came to how he got in the team, how he got on the team. Free agents almost like, hey, we gonna use you as a body. But I can call a guy like, I can see that body that you say is a body and watch him run the ball or watch him catch the ball, watch him cover, or watch him do anything that you ask upon him to do and say, you know what, that's gonna be a guy that's gonna have a chance to make the team because just the way they went at it when they put on everything, they didn't shy away from nothing that they didn't shy away when they had on those shorts.
Let's get into everyone's favorite segment, Story Time with Santana. Listen, he's got a story to tell. All right, Tana, I've asked you before about take me back to when you were drafted. Then I asked you, take me back to your first training camp. But one thing about this podcast that's awesome is you can give so much insight to everything in between. Those are questions you get all the time. I want to ask you, take me to the time in between those. Take me to, okay, I'm drafted, I'm with the Jets, but I'm not at my first training camp yet. It's my first summer as a Jet player, but the season hasn't kicked off. Give me a story from that time frame. What were you doing? Getting acclimated to New York, I assume, right?
Nope. I'm gonna be honest with you. The first summer of being a Jet and a guy with some money in his pocket, oh my God. So you gotta understand, I just went through 4 years of college,
Right.
and I went almost as straight as you can be to be a college athlete or a guy from this city that has the name that I have.
Right.
When I say the name, meaning that it rings. That like anytime I go somewhere, like, oh, that's Santana Moss. I walk as straight as I can walk with all that given. I worked for it, but with all that, another guy in those shoes would took it and say, give me more.
Right.
I just took it. I tried not to use it for 4 years because my whole main goal was I had on blinders. I was like that horse sitting out there at that parade that the officers was riding on and they wanted to see nothing but what's in front of them. And I just tried to make sure I steered straight. Now, with all that said, here I am now. I'm drafted. I done got a taste of where I'm going to be at, which is New York.
Wow.
I done got a taste already before I even put on a uniform. The elites of New York,
Right.
Tyson Beckford, Sean Puffy Combs, you name it. At the time, it was I'm trying to find a model
some
name.
rappers too, I bet.
I was on a flight with Dipset going to New York from Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
I'm sitting here like I done seen it all before I even got a chance to be a star, considered a star on this level. And so now we talking about first summer. I done went through the OTAs process. Done got my feet on that green. Showed them this. Showed them I can dice them up in a phone book. Showed them I can skirt exactly. Way before they were skirting. I was skirting back then. And so when you come home with a little bit like, oh man, and Memorial Weekend in Miami has happened. And all I can tell you, with a guy that never partook in none of that stuff because you didn't have the money, you had a main goal. Your goal was to try to make it to see some of these days on a regular, and knowing you protected in your pockets. And 3, now I have all that, and I'm a young buck that want to go out here and enjoy it.
Fruits of the labor.
It was like exactly the fruits of the lake. It was like no other. I recall us being on the beach, and like I said, I just had met Tyson through probably a month or so ago in New York, and I bump into him. I'm riding on the beach with my boys in my Escalade. Back then, that Escalade was the it
Of
truck,
course.
and the new one had came out. I had a 2001 Maroon sitting on some spinners. Nothing like
Whoa!
and in between my spinners, I had the maroon paint, same paint on my car. I had it in between the spin, so it was
Ugh.
nothing like what I had. And I remember, and everybody had, cause back then that's when 24s and 22 and
Yes.
24s was rare, very popular.
Yep.
And it was like you riding in a music video. If you had any one of those kind of cars,
Yep.
that's how we felt. That's what we wanted, because that's what we saw. BT was giving us that every day. We can sit there and watch a video and say, I want to ride
I'm
like that. I
riding
want
spinners.
like
I'm riding spinners.
hip hop at its all time high. We
Yep.
was all hip hoppers. But I remember being on the beach and Tyson so happened to see me in the car. I'm on the passenger side because I wasn't driving. And he like, hey, you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And he like, man, let me know if if you need anything. But I'm like, you in my city. This is Miami. But at the same time, that's Tyson. So
Right.
I had to respect that and appreciate he even speaking to me in those ways. Like, and so my homeboys in the back, like, man, that's the cat be naked on the like, nah, that's the model, man. You know how your dudes, they don't look at it the same way
Hell
we
no.
I'm like, nah, that's a model, but hey, a damn good one. Everybody won't be Tyson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just from that, man, to the parties that I was able to walk into that a year ago I couldn't walk in these parties unless I showed ID, all that stuff, man. I remember leaving that Memorial Weekend and saying like, whew, boy, if this is my first Memorial Weekend in Miami and the experiences that I've seen and had, taken in, I can't imagine what next year and the year after that gonna be like. So
Jeez.
um knowing that I had to take care of business, I enjoyed that time. But I knew once that Memorial Weekend was over with, I stepped back into getting out there and get my mind focused on the job at hand.
Well, like you said, I mean, those 4 years in college really have brought you up to that point where you did, I think, need to let your hair down a little
That
bit
was
and
my
enjoy
time.
it.
That was
Yeah.
my time to exhale because
Right.
people ask us so people always ask me, man, how you made it in Miami?
Right.
First of all, I'm from Miami,
Right.
so everything I saw in Miami wasn't new to me. Second, when you a guy that been on the path that I've been on, I understand what it's like to not have. So you know that. Look, I'm already in this bubble of not having nothing. Why go out there and act like I got more and then don't have a chance to have more?
Sure.
Let me go ahead and enjoy what I'm enjoying by not having what I want, but working towards getting what I'm trying to get.
Right.
And in order for me to do that, I have to kind of sacrifice some of the funds and some of the parties that you guys might partake in because I have a goal in mind. And when I reach that goal, yeah, I'm gonna come at you hard as I can come at you because I'm gonna celebrate and do all that stuff that you've been doing for 4 years, missing out on your opportunity to be sharp and be ready for this opportunity that we might have to go out there and have some more.
Damn, dog. I know you too. Everybody eats around you. I know that Escalade was deep as hell.
That's why I buy big trucks, big cars, baby. I want everybody to enjoy
Hey, what
it.
what Tyson
Right.
pull up? What he pull up with? What he pull up next to you when he hollered at you?
Street, man. He was walking, man. He was walking.
What?
Memorial Weekend, everybody's walking, man. I was just so happen to I'm riding through slow, letting them things just spin.
Right.
And he so happened to gaze into the truck, like I guess the truck caught his eye. He gazed and seen me in the
Saw
passenger
you.
seat and just rolled up on me like, "What's up? You good?" And he know, man. You gotta understand, Miami Memorial Weekend back in those days. That's early 2001.
Right.
Man, you got New York, you got Canada, you got any other college in the United States. They all coming to get a part of that. So the streets was crazy, and he was just being a guy. I can say a big brother that just had met me and through some people and like, hey man, if you need me, let me know. I got you. But I'm gonna be at these couple of spots. If you want to roll through, just give me a holler. And I was just appreciative that he just recognized me in that matter. Cause one thing about me, and you know this about me, I'm not big on because I'm a celebrity. I'm gonna go and holler at this celebrity. Nah,
Right.
well, everybody's like their space differently. I'm not a guy that like to be shined on.
Right.
So, and knowing that I'm not gonna take it wisely or take it, kindly, stay in my spot. If you notice me, then we good. If you don't, I'm cool. I'm still good. You know what
Right.
I mean? But
Yeah.
for him to just glance and know who I were at that moment, I was a young buck just in like, damn, that's what's up, man.
Let
You
me
know?
tell you something, man. It's just me and you talking here, so I can be honest with you. It is so good that we have met at this point of our lives. Because I promise you, Santana Moss, if we had met back then at that Memorial Day, it would have been a different – we wouldn't be here today together. You might be here. I would not be here right now.
You wouldn't have made it.
I wouldn't have made – never would have made –
Across that bridge. The bridge you just talked about, you jumping off it.
Well, this might be a good time to transition to Tana talking DMV. All right, Tana, this is something I always wanted to ask you. If it wasn't for the U,
yeah,
and you had to pick a school from the DMV to go to play your college football, where would it be? I mean, now you got some killers now. You got look, I know there's a dispute about the DMV area. Is it just D.C.? But I'm going letter of the law, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. So you got Tech, UVA,
regardless
Maryland.
of where that's in Virginia. It's just Virginia,
right.
D.C.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Where would you go?
To be honest with you, man, I wouldn't have a clue back then. Back then I wouldn't have had a clue what these schools even, could offer me because I didn't pay attention to them.
Right.
Now, a young buck, playing in Miami and playing against a team like Virginia Tech. After playing Virginia Tech, I'm like, who is Florida State again?
Right.
I felt like we played the best team that I've ever seen assembled at the time.
Wow.
Before Michael Vick.
Wow.
They didn't have a Michael Vick. Michael Vick was on the team and he wasn't playing. And I looked at that team as in like, man, we got to see them every year. They in our division. So, and they was just like Florida State at that time. We hadn't beat those guys throughout my tenure until my senior year. So, just looking back and thinking ahead at the same time, if I was a young buck and knew of a VTech, it would have been VTech over UVA, over Georgetown. Georgetown football probably wasn't even existing back then, but over Howard,
right,
over Hampton.
Like a smaller
to be honest
school.
With you, my name and probably where I stood at with the game, if one of those schools up there were looking at me, it probably been more smaller schools because I only got noticed at UM because of track and because of a friend of mine that played on the football team that say, look, this little cat we used to get out the house to go out here and play ball with us when he was 6-7 years younger than everybody who was out there playing with him. I know he can play this game, and then those scouts did their work and said, I'm gonna go check him out in high school because they don't throw the ball enough for us to really see what he can do as a receiver. And just so happened they watching our running back and our safety, and 83, the Tanner man shines that day.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm saying. I was a diamond in the rough the whole while. So I don't know if those schools would even look at me. But to know the knowledge that I know now about the VTechs, the UVAs, you name it, any school, Maryland, VTech stands out because, even if you want to go as far as West Virginia,
right,
we play West Virginia too. But VTech always stood out because the year before Michael Vick, they was good. And the year Michael Vick stepped on the field, I almost thought something happened because I'm like, how did he not play last year if he's that damn good?
Right.
And then fast forward all that, we shared a moment on this show talking about the Playboy All-American class. Mike Vick, it was myself, all those guys. You got to think that coach was the head coach. Yeah. And I remember him asking me, and I was going to my senior year, and he said, what would it take to get you to put on a Hokies uniform your last year? And I was like, it's impossible. But just to have a coach come at me like that, knowing who he had as the quarterback,
right?
Man, if I wasn't at Miami, it would have probably been easy, But I was a Hurricane, and that thing was through my blood from day one. Just being a guy that's born and raised in that area, it was no question that I couldn't look back on those guys. But if I had to say, exclude anybody from Florida and Miami, and I had to just say DMV only, it would be Tech stands out the most.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I know a lot of dudes from the 757. I spent a lot of time there myself throughout my life. You're the only guy I know from the 305, but I'm gonna tell you like this: y'all got a lot of similarities. Y'all 757 and y'all 305s are a lot alike.
They breed them. They breed the best of the best, man. You name it. The Vicks, the D Halls, the AIs. Before all those guys, AI. Everybody watching AI.
Yes, sir.
I recall a time before I knew AI as good as AI was in college and in the pros and basketball. AI was #1 football player in the world.
Quarterback.
Guess who was behind him? Jamie German, a wide receiver at University of Miami from Fort Myers,
Wow.
Florida.
Wow.
So being a football junkie that I was at the time, I'm like, who's this Allen Iverson that plays quarterback and safety?
Yep.
That's unheard of. We had a guy in Florida at the time in Miami named Bubba. Bubba went to school with me in high school and transferred to a different high school, played the same two positions, and was an AI like no other. He was and play basketball. You can look at him and say that was the AI too, because he can run the ball, he can catch the ball, he can hit you like anybody else in that secondary.
Wow.
He was a quarterback. And then outside of him, we had a guy named Cook, and Cook was a guy that went to Florida State and played corner. But when you know Cook in Miami, he was a quarterback and a safety at Miami High at Andre Johnson's high school. So the 757 was like the 305 to me. We
Yeah.
brought the same kind of talent out, and those guys, we came from some of the same upbringing. So it was only, right for us to have the talent that we have. And the reason why we respect it across this league, because we go out there and we got some true guys out there representing where they from.
Good Lord, Tana. It's just hearing you drop those names makes me think of how many guys came up, whether it be high school or college, that just didn't make it, that were probably
Yeah.
so good and could have played on the next level, but life or whatever just didn't allow them that opportunity, man.
Trust me, that could be another whole podcast if I sit here and show you the guys that was before me.
Maybe it will be. Maybe we'll have to do that. But for now, we'll talk about what we watching. All right, Tan, I want to ask if you're watching any TV or movies down there. But before that, if I was in Miami, okay, this is just me, I would be at the beach every day to watch the sun rise. And then I go on about my day. I do my thing. And then at night, I'd be at the beach to watch the sun set. I wonder, while you're down there, and I know you grew up there, but when you
Yeah.
go back to visit and see the fam, do you ever hit the beach ever?
The old me would be at the beach at least once or twice while I'm down, depending on how long I'm down. When you in for a quick stop like I am now, Monday through and leaving out Wednesday, you just giving I'm giving my kids my time. I just want to be around the family and just, spend that time, because you don't see them for so long, and then you saying like, hey, I'm home. I'll be letting them down to show my face and then be out partying or having a good time, and
Right,
then, hey, I'm gone. You know what I mean?
right.
So I'm trying to let them soak it all up, and then I'm gonna see them again next week anyway. But when I'm here, I still can't, see myself having a good time, knowing that my time is short here.
What about a
So
family beach day? What about everybody go out, little
now,
sand castle?
yeah, if the time was, given, I probably would have done that, but the time wasn't given. I had so much going on. I had a graduation yesterday.
Right.
I had another event with my second oldest daughter today, and then I'm working. We talking, and after that, I'm just gonna go home and chill with the rest of the fam, and and know I got to get up in the morning early to get back to the DMV. So I'm just trying to, let them soak it up until I see them again next week, because my oldest son graduated from high school in the DMV next week. So all the family
Damn.
anyway. So yeah, man, it's one of those summers, man. It's gonna be eventful for the Moss clan.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I think I'd tell my family deuces, and I'd be right at the beach drinking Mai Tais with the
You dirty,
umbrella, Ella.
you dirty dog.
You watching any TV or movies down there? You too busy,
I
it
have.
sound like.
No, I've been busy, but last night, due to the fact that I didn't record this up in Ashburn,
Yeah.
my nephew recorded it, at home for me down here. So I got a chance to watch the season 1 of Animal Kingdom. That's a great show on
Oh, I heard that's good.
God. So I was all in, and then I also watched what's called Queen Sugar. I watched
Okay, yeah.
I was not season 1, but episode 1 of season 3 of Animal Kingdom, and I believe this is I watched episode 1 and 2 of Queen Sugar, and that's another show that comes on
So on
the O
Oprah.
channel.
Yeah, Oprah. Okay.
Great show. Great.
All right.
Both of those shows are great. Must see TV.
Okay.
I've been watching the series, so if you haven't seen them, you haven't, caught up on. You got to catch up on it first. But
Yeah.
those are two shows that I watched last night. Trying to catch up. So now I know tonight, Animal Kingdom second show will be on, and then tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we'll be talking about Queen Sugar, and because Queen Sugar come on, it'll be the third episode. for this
Yeah.
season. So
My
yeah, I haven't watched no movies, but I caught up on some shows.
Bro, my DVR is crazy right now because I've been a little busy covering the soon-to-be Stanley Cup champions. Let's go, Cavs! Whoa! With that being said, time now for Finish the Sentence.
Finish the sentence.
All right, Tana, I start it, you finish it. My B-Day weekend 2018 was...
As expected. My homeboys asked me, Tanner, the last couple of years I kind of been in one of those state of mind of like, I'm trying to buckle down and get my feet into where I'm at. You know, I've been presented something that I didn't even think that I'd be a part of. So I don't want to, you know, be too freely out here having too much fun. I want to get wet enough in this new gig to where then I can say, okay, once I got my feet in the door and I'm sitting where I want to sit, then I start, you know, letting my wings and my everything hang. So this year I felt that, hey, I've done a lot of that. I've been working my ass off.
Yep.
You know, you've been a part of some of that. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm letting it all hang out. If I am not floating, and when I mean floating, mean on another level every night, then I didn't enjoy my birthday weekend. And so to me, I say when I finish this sentence, as expected, I was floating.
I wish I was floating right now, but that's another story. Tana, as I get older, now more than ever, I realize
I have to plan more.
Ooh.
I never made plans. I used to just go as the wind blow. And people look at me now and be like, hey, Tana, I need you for such and such date. You think you'll be available? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put this in the calendar, and if everything you know what? I'm planning to be there. Right now, I don't have nothing, so I'm gonna plan to be there. And if anything comes to scoot me out of that spot, I'll let you know. But I'm gonna plan that you're number one because of what you're offering and because of what I have to do.
Right.
So I'm planning more these days.
I can dig that. Thinking of a master plan, because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. Tana, this summer, I plan to.
This summer, I plan to explore some new investments.
Woo!
I told you how I feel about investments. I got hurt real bad on some of my past investments,
Right.
but I want to explore some new ones. I'm out here and I want to partake in something that's going to be beneficial down the line. So I'm definitely going to step out there. I got a couple of things in mind that I'm going to test the waters and see what's up.
Yeah. I mean, this show in itself is an investment.
There you go. And I'm glad you stated that because that's one of definitely one of them.
Yeah. This feels like a good time to just remind everyone out there that the Santana Moss Show podcast is looking for sponsors. Please, we would appreciate your patronage because this podcast is litty, baby. Hey, Tanner, you know, when you talk that money talk, you know I rub my hands together like Birdman, baby.
Happened to that boy.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I miss you in studio. It don't feel right sitting in your seat, man. Something is just off with me.
Yeah, it's off a little bit, but guess what? We had to do to get the job done.
No doubt about it.
And we did just that, my brother.
No doubt about it. So you're back next week in studio, right? And then you're traveling again, ain't you, man? You gone all the time.
Yeah, I'm in and out this week. So this week, just say, forget about me. You'll be talking to me next week about what I did all this week. But yeah, but once I get back next week, man, we rocking and rolling like old time.
Hey, y'all already know. That's a wrap for episode 9. Hey, subscribe to the YouTube page. You know you want to. Sharing is caring. Share, like, subscribe, the whole 9. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we're on everything. The Santana Moss Show podcast, episode 9 is a wrap. Tana, I appreciate you. Bring me some sand and some Mai Tais back from Miami, please.
I'll think about it.
See how we do me, y'all? Peace.
It's a Santana Moss Show.